headed if we don't stop. Anyway, folks, the New York Times is in the news twice today. There is the most hilarious 6-minute video. We're going to play the whole thing for you, but a bunch of employees of New York Times are just fit to be tied that little pinch wants to change their pension plan on them. Now, the New York Times right now has a defined benefit plan, which basically is what General Motors used to have and what a lot of big companies used to have until they found out they couldn't afford it. What happened was that in negotiating union contracts, they allowed early retirement in some of these places because the jobs were so mundane and boring. But you could retire early, and then after you retired, you got health benefits as part of your pension for the rest of your days, even though you weren't producing anything more for the company. And for a while, sounded good, looked good, until the moment came when all of these people began to retire at once, and pretty much became obvious that the companies could not afford this. Couldn't afford lifetime health benefits and pensions for people that weren't working. Well, that's what the New York Times has. And so Little Pinch and the management want to change from a defined benefit plan to a benefit plan where the workers contribute to their own retirement that is matched somewhat by the company. The company will match 3%, basically a 401k. And the employees at the Times are livid. And they've put together a 6-minute video. They've been in practically bare knuckle union negotiations over this for a year. And the reason it's funny is because it's happening all over the world. All over the world, governments, states, cities, federal, whatever, companies can't sustain themselves with these deals. They're all having to revise backwards and change it in order to stay solvent and sustainable. Wisconsin's a good example. But the employees of the New York Times, despite reporters covering this and seeing the reality that it cannot work and cannot be sustained, and despite the New York Times being in the news business and therefore seeing what's happening to that business, are still saying, the heck with it. We want the money. The sense of entitlement and greed is on display in this video. We have that. Plus, they're promising a hard look at President Obama. Editorial. A hard look at the president coming up soon in the New York Times.